Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Today we are prepared, I am prepared to do three different little projects, and two of them are to do with the melon and pumpkin towers, and the other one is to do some storage in my base. So I'm pretty prepared at the moment to go and do all of those, but before we do them I want to talk a little bit about something important that's to do with the community. That's me and the other people on the Hermitcraft server and you guys who watch the videos as well. And so community is a very important thing. That's what I've been thinking lately. I've also installed this iron door because zombies kept knocking down the wooden one. But community is an important thing and it involves all of us, and I think that in order for Hermitcraft to be a better community we need to be more organised and focused about things that we know. So I was thinking that there are always a lot of comments about various things in the comments on my videos and probably on other people's videos as well, asking questions about particular things to do with what's going on in Hermitcraft. So I'm going to address one of them straight away that I see often. A lot of people have been asking for the seed. This is a really wonderful map and you'll have a lot of fun exploring it, so let's just type in that right there. You can see that's the seed right there. Now I'm also going to copy that and put it in the description box as well, because then you can copy and paste it and use it as a seed yourself or pass it on to someone else. And so one of the things I've really liked that I've seen happen in the past is where someone who is new to Hermitcraft would ask, what's the seed, what's the seed of this map that they're playing on? And because it was very simple back then, it was just the number 4, other people would actually answer their question. And I always thought that was great to see when someone was answering a comment for me. And so that's the kind of thing that builds a community, when we help each other out and we answer each other's questions. So if you guys have anything that you think is important for you to know about what's going on Hermitcraft, any questions that you want to ask, then leave a comment down below and I'll address it in the next episode, and then we can all stay up to date with what's going on. And then when other people ask the same questions, not just in my videos but in other Hermitcraft videos as well, we'll all be able to answer them. And so you have the seed right there. I'm just going to bring it up on the screen one more time, but that will be in the description box. And so if someone answers, I'm sure you're not going to be able to remember that number because it's not as simple as 4. But you can always just direct them to this video and say, Xisuma told everyone on this video right here. And so that is pretty much all I wanted to say. I think it's important that we all kind of stay up to date with what's going on and be able to tell each other when people ask questions. So now let's go. Oh no, actually there's one more thing that I wanted to mention to do with community as well. We have a subreddit and I often go there and check on what people are posting on and participate and leave comments and stuff, and I just want to promote it here and say if you're interested in being a part of the Hermitcraft community, then we have a subreddit, and that'll be linked in the description box. And on there's a whole bunch of people discussing what's going on in the videos, because people post videos there, and also other things as well. They can ask questions and the hermits come along and we answer them. So yeah, anyway, down here is one of the projects that I've started working on. What I want to do down here is build a very simple storage area, so this is a case of me just showing you it now and then showing you it when it's finished. But I plan on putting chests on the sides like this. We'll have them next to each other because we have the trap chests as well. So that should be fairly simple to do. It might be a little bit time consuming because I want to gather some materials that I don't have for that. Now if you're wondering what this monstrosity is, well, my way of tree farming at the moment is to simply put down loads of saplings in a big square and then let them grow all over time. You can see they've all grown, it looks like, and then when I chop it all down it's quite easy to do. Although I do have to go up top and get all of these first of all, and I end up missing one or two, but that's pretty cool. I guess I should build a temporary roof or something like that, and then it'll be really easy to cut down. But anyway, the melon and pumpkin towers, we have two things to do over here. The first one is to build the timing circuits, which are going to go underneath. They're going to control this block here, and then the signal is going to pass all the way up. In fact, let's do a quick harvest. I will go and pick these items up in a bit so they are not wasted. You can see them dropping down there. And actually what you need to do with this is always activate it twice, because sometimes the drops land where the piston retracts, and so when it extends again it will push them out and they will fall down. So I've been getting prepared over here for what is going to be a little melon and pumpkin storage area, and I've got the design in mind as well, so this is another case of just getting on and building it. One thing I've done that was really silly in the last episode, and I don't know why, is it's a little bit dark over here, got to be careful. I said that I would put hoppers down here, and I don't know why that got stuck in my head, and I've been feeling a lot like that lately, where I get things stuck in my head and I don't really think outside the box, and it's just where I've been away from survival for quite some time, and I've been playing FTB as well, so I'm a little rusty, I feel, because we don't have to use hoppers at all. I just got that idea in my head and I completely forgot about water streams and ice and things like that, which lots of you left a comment about. And I saw those comments and I thought, why on earth did I not think of doing that? I just had one idea stuck in my head and I told myself that was the only way that it would work. So we're going to lower these chests down here. Those water streams are going to come from one side all the way over here, and then it's going to turn the corner there, and the other one's going to come down here, go around the corner and down there. And so when they come down here, they're going to go into these hoppers here. See, this is too high at the moment, and it's going to go from this one to that one, and there's going to be a hopper underneath. So when there's items in the first hopper, they're going to go straight down into the one below, and that's going to feed them into the first chest over here. So we're going to have these chests side by side going downwards. They're going to continue going down like this. Every 2 blocks they go down by 1. Going to have a walkway in the middle, and the same thing on either side. And then that will provide us with tons and tons of storage, which will be expandable if we ever need more. There will also be a hopper right there facing into that chest. So as soon as the items go into the first one, then they get moved into the second, and they get moved all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm probably going to start off with 8 chests on either side. That will probably be way too excessive as it is. But these things will be running throughout the day. So when people are in the area, the redstone clocks that we're going to have will activate that constantly. So there'll always be a supply of pumpkins and melons heading down into this area. So I think I've explained that pretty sufficiently. So now I'm going to start off by doing the storage area in my base. I'll show you that and then we'll move on to doing these 2 projects. Okay, the storage area is now finished. Let's go down and have a look at this. You can see nothing too fancy here. It did take me a while to do though. It ended up being a little bit bigger than I expected. But one thing that kind of threw me off was making the room nice and even. You can see how this lines up over here. I wanted to do the same thing on this side, and then it meant we needed a bit that was 3 wide here and 3 wide here. So we put some furnaces in on that side, and over here we got a jukebox as well. But the last thing I did was add the glass, and actually, do you know what? It doesn't look that nice with the glass in. So let's break all of this and you can see what it looks like without. I think it actually looks a lot better, and then it also means that we can use the stairs over on this side as well. And if that's the case, I might actually remove the ladder on the other side. But let's just step back and have a look. You see that looks much nicer, more open and spacious now. The glass really kind of invades the space. But down here, there's a little bit of stone brick and then it kind of ends. So I might continue with that at some point, but we can go all the way back up here. I do actually need to fill in some blocks there, and they are down in this chest. And that's another thing I need to get is some item frames, so I can put them on the side to indicate what's in each chest. I've already started moving a few things into each chest, and I think when I finish doing that, maybe at some point we'll go through all of my chests so you guys can see how many materials I have at the moment. As you saw there, I've collected quite a lot of coal, but this chest here is now my valuables chest, so take a look at all the stuff that I've got so far. And that is that project finished. I'm not sure what else there is to say about it. So we're probably going to move on to doing the melon and pumpkin towers now. So it's time for another update. This is taking a lot longer than expected. Survival really is quite tedious. You're always going back and forth, checking things. There's always something you forget. I basically spend most of the time taking trips back and forth. But we've got this built on either side now. This is the EFO hopper clock, and this one here doesn't work because we need to make these into sticky pistons, and I don't have any more slime balls, and it actually takes quite some time to find some when you go caving, so it might be a while before we get this one up and running. But this is real simple. So every time that the items in here, we've got a stack, or I did have a stack, so if we had a stack of dirt in there, every time they make their way over to the other side, then this comparator turns off, and then when they make their way back, then this one turns off. So if we have torches on these, and bear in mind when there's items in there, these will be, the comparators that is, will be on, so the torches will be off. It means that you get a pulse every time the items travel from one side to the other. Now I did say that I actually wanted to have a double pulse, so when it activates, it will activate once and twice like that, whereas at the moment what it does is just activate on the same interval, but a different torch activates either time. So I might add some more redstone in at some point and make it so it does that. However, that will do for now. I've also hooked it up down here so that we have this hopper going into a chest like that as well. There's one on the other side because I've done the same thing over there. In fact, we should go have a look. And one of the things I think I'm going to avoid doing this time round is decorating all of the small things, because it would be very typical of me to, when we build these tunnels with water in them, to make them look really nice and maybe have like an access tunnel. I think this time round, things that you're not really going to see that often, I'm going to just leave how they are. But one thing I think I want to do is actually raise this up, try and bring the water as high as possible. So we're probably going to go through at this height here, and that means when we go to the chests down the other end, they'll be a little bit higher and there'll be less stairs. And that just got activated, but I don't think anything had grown. But this one over here is working, so you can see the items are being transferred from either side. So both of these torches are off, and then when this one here finishes emptying them, then a pulse will be sent. So anyway, let's head outside up here, and let's look over. And I can't sprint because I need to eat. Okay, so it's over here that I wanted to have a look at what was going on, because we're going to be raising the height of the tunnel. So the water is going to come through at this height up here, and that means that the first hopper will be at the height that I'm clicking at now, so it'll be here. So everything here will go down by one block, meaning that the first chest you'll see will be this one here. So there'll be steps going across on either side. That will leave some more room on the walls, possibly to put something in there, although I'm really not sure what. We will need a crafting bench down here, because when you're picking out some melons, you're going to want to craft them into melon blocks, or at least that's why I'm setting up these farms, so there's more building options. You know, you've got the 2 extra block types to work with. But at the moment, again, I planned on doing this all in the last episode, and possibly not all of this will get done in this one, because we need ice. And I think that's the problem at the moment, because we're just starting. There's lots of things that we don't have available yet, and it feels like doing projects like this is fairly easy, but there's always something you've forgotten. You know, I'm not used to playing from the beginning and not having everything that I need. So a good example of that is the slime balls. That really caught me out there. I was like, oh wait a minute, I don't have any of them. I don't know where to get some from because we don't have a farm yet. And so I think probably what I should be doing is focusing on projects that, you know, are more essential, like a witch farm or a slime farm. But anyway, we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to try and do as much of this as possible. So what I'm going to do is get everything in place so we can build the water streams later on, because we're going to need a silk touch pick to get the ice for those, and then have all of this ready for that. So I've done a fair bit of work down here. In fact, it's almost finished. What I need to do is finish off the wall at the bottom and also figure out the lighting. Now what I had in plan for the lighting were redstone lamps along the side here with redstone blocks behind them. However, I don't have a lot of glowstone and I'm not really geared up enough to go into the nether. I tried to do that earlier and some ghast started harassing me because I don't even have a proper bow and arrow yet, since we don't have a skeleton farm. But this is what it looks like. One of the things about this is that you can see between the gaps. Now normally I'd probably throw down a whole bunch of materials under there so you can see that when you look in between, but at the moment I've just gone with stone, which looks alright. It's not really noticeable as well. And I want to continue doing these stripes of melons and pumpkins coming down like you can see here, but every other one will have the lamps like I talked about. But the chests, they all kind of start a little bit low down. I think it'd be nicer if they started up here, or maybe even up a couple more blocks. But the problem with this is, and if we break this, the hoppers are actually going to suck away all the ones that we break here, and then they should filter down to the end. There you go, there's a little bit of proof that this works. Everything filters all the way down to the bottom. You can see there that that was a trap chest as well, that's why they're next to each other. And all the fronts of the chests face each other as well, just so it's really neat. But the water is going to come along at this height here, and it's going to go into this one and then into that one. So if you look at where the half slab is here, the water's going to have to stop right before it, so it's going to have to split off. Well, actually no, it's only going to go to this block here, and then the items are going to pass over onto the top of the hopper. Now what I realised is if we have the water go around, so it goes over one hopper and then onto the other, when this one is full, the items are simply going to go over to the one to the right of it anyway, so you don't actually need those two there, you just need these like that, which means we can raise this up by one block. So if we were to do that, let's just put down a couple of chests. We'll have chests here, and then we will have hoppers pointing in at this height. And yeah, I think that's doable. I think it might save a few hoppers as well, because then all we have to do is bring the hoppers back a little bit further so they don't have this half slab in the way, and then the water just has to wrap around the corner. So imagine it goes, let's place these blocks, so it comes down like this and then it goes round to the side. That means this hopper on this side gets the items first, and then it goes round to the one on the second one when that's full. So when all of the chests fill up on this far side, that's when items start moving into the ones on the next side. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that works, so I'm going to double check that and then I will implement it, which will mean we'll have some extra chests at this height here. So I was just a little mystified as to how this happened, but if you look at where these chests are, the hoppers are going to point into them like that, and this height here is where the water is going to be, so the items aren't going to be able to get into the hoppers. And I was really baffled. I thought, how on earth have I done that? How have I made that mistake? And then I came up here and realised that somehow I just got a little carried away and added 2 sets of chests, so we need to get rid of these ones. But I thought it was a little bit amusing. I don't know how I managed to do that, but there you go, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so now I think pretty much everything I can do has been done. If we go down the bottom here, and I do have to tidy this up as well, but I don't have the right things on me. I need to replace these blocks up here. But down here you can see, and this needs a torch, that's for sure, it's a bit dark. We have the double pulsar put in now. I went into a test world and then I realised, wait a minute, this is incredibly simple. So this now has 2 stacks of dirt, and whenever a pulse is received from either side it comes down to the end here, so the first signal goes through this way and it goes through a repeater so that these ones don't then back power into the same input. And there it is right there, that's perfect timing. So yeah, it goes through the first one, second one has a delay, and then it goes through, so that works just fine. So this thing is working. Let's go see how many drops we have actually gathered from this while I've been working around the place. Oh, that is quite a lot. Those chests will probably fill up quite quickly when we get this going. And why is there a dead end here? It's because I pillared up to get out of this place. And if we go down to the other one, this also has the same redstone hooked up to it now as well. So not as much in this chest. There's also some dirt. But let's just pop up here and have a quick look. And there's no real way to get through here. I think I have to swim under this bit here, yeah. So you can see it's the same thing over here. And the redstone goes up to this cobblestone, which is on both sides, so that just divides it up so it goes into the block, which controls all the redstone in the tower. So that is those 2 done. Like I said, I just need to tidy up the top bits here so it's all hidden. And the next thing to do is the water, but we need a silk touch pick, so that means I'm probably going to have to go caving again. That's about the only way we have of levelling up at the moment. I don't think anyone's found an XP farm or made one. Actually, I tried to make an XP farm with cave spider spawners over behind those hills, and I didn't want to build a proper cave spider farm. I just wanted to build something basic and temporary, and I couldn't really get anything that worked that well at all. But this is all pretty much finished now. These bits here need to have redstone lamps in them with redstone behind them, so it'll be some time before I get that together. And that'll be all the way down to the end here, so this is just how the end is going to be, a little crafting bench. And that is pretty much it, I guess. So I've just logged into the server, and I actually logged in inside of a cactus. Someone has been over here and they've pranked me. There's some cactus that's been laid down, there's some vines as well, and these trees I actually planted here. What I've been doing is getting some saplings together and growing lots of trees and dropping them down, just building up some building materials. But I did not put down these cactus and vines, and I wonder if there's a sign anywhere as well. There doesn't appear to be anything out here. Maybe they left one inside. Let's go up top, have a look out here. It would look like whoever done this wishes to remain anonymous, and if you're wondering what that is right there, well, when I was doing the storage room, all of this fell down and I completely forgot about replacing it, so that is something else that I can do. But what I just decided to do was gear up and go into the nether and try and get some glowstone, because that's all we really need to do for that room over there now, is just get some redstone lamps together. So if I gear up, I'm pretty sure that I can go in there and get us some glowstone. So how does that look? I think it looks pretty damn good, and going into the nether was a great idea, and I'll explain why in a second. But one thing I thought I'd do, which is quite clever, because I originally planned on just putting redstone blocks behind this all the way from the top to the bottom, Then I thought, oh wait a minute, we can save a little bit of redstone by putting a piece of redstone on top, one below, and then a block below that, so it powers the block below, and then it will power all of the lamps, which it does. And I did that, and then I thought, wait a minute, you could just power these with levers, so what am I thinking? Well, I realised I've been watching too much of King Happy, because in his world he has so much redstone from his witch farm that he just uses the blocks everywhere, which is something I'd like to do because it's just nice and convenient to place them down. So sooner or later I think I want to start work on a witch farm, and now that this is fully finished, that actually looks really nice. I'm very pleased with how that turned out. But yeah, I said that going into the nether was a good idea, and the reason why is because I have 31 levels, check that out. And I got a load of quartz as well. So I was mining the quartz while looking for glowstone, that's obviously a good idea. And then I realised that I was getting a ton of XP from it, and it's a lot faster to use quartz to level up than it is to go mining, which is what I'd previously been doing. So I was only getting XP from coal, lapis, and redstone and diamonds, etc. But when you go to the nether and get it from quartz, you get a hell of a lot more in a very short amount of time. So what I'm going to do now is actually start enchanting some picks and axes and shovels and things like that. I can actually get myself fairly well geared up now, and I think that's actually a really good way of getting XP, and it also means you get quartz as well, which is a good thing. But that is going to be it from me this episode. Next episode I have no idea what we're going to be doing, but right now I'm going to be going into the nether and grabbing some more quartz and coming back and doing enchants. So in the next episode I should have a cool bunch of gear to show you that I've got. But yes, as I said, that is it. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.